City of Kaduna, and you're welcome to another edition of 3M Sports channel. And of course, today on 3M Sports channel, we'll definitely be looking at the Nigerian League, of course, the NPFL, Nigerian National League, and we'll also be looking at three of our national teams: the under 23 Chan Eagles, under 21 Flying Eagles, of course, that did us proud far away in Niger, and also the under 17 team that they actually did well, although they lost out in the quarterfinals to the USA. We'll look at all those three national teams with my co-presenter in the person of Jide Abodun. Jide Abodun, you're welcome to another edition of 3M Sports.
My pleasure, Vincent, and it's good to be here talking sports on a Friday morning.
Yes, of course, another edition of the Nigerian of 3M Sports, and we're starting first, of course, with the Nigerian Professional Football League. And a lot of issues, of course, are going on, and of course, already we are in the week 10 of the NPFL, and just some 1-2 days ago, issues of the Player Status Arbitration Committee actually came up, and it was said that some clubs have been sanctioned from actually using their new players because they are actually owing some players and officials in the past, and a lot of stories came up. One actually said that the clubs have paid the money, while the other one came and said that they are yet to pay. And of course, there's a match tomorrow on Sunday. We don't know what will happen, but from a reliable source, we heard that Elkanemi and Enyimba actually paid their money into the NPFL account instead of the NFF Players Committee account, and I think they have been asked to withdraw and return it to the NFF committee, and the other clubs are also they are waiting for the other clubs to also make payments. If not, they will not be allowed to use their new players in the week 10 matches. But we'll come to that today. Let's quickly look at the table at the moment in the as at week 9 of the Nigerian Premier League. Of course, topping the table is still Rivers United, of course, with 21 points from 9 matches, and you have Remo second there on the table, and you have third on the table. Plateau United, of course, fourth on the table, and you have Elkanemi also, who have not lost a match this season, sixth on the table with 13 points. One wonder, a team has not lost a match, been placed sixth on the table. Of course, they've had 7 draws, and of course, look at the table is there for you. And Akwa United actually last on the table, while Ikorodu United second to the last on the table. 3SC that we feel will do well this season, actually, they're not even 10th on the table, but they're still struggling to find their feet. Well, let's look at the fixtures for week 10, and we have Elkanemi. Elkanemi will be hosting Katsina United. Elkanemi are yet to be beaten this season. They are yet to lose a match. Katsina United just brought in a new board. Of course, they're retaining their chairman, Professor Dan Lami. Rangers will play National United. Pillars will play Plateau, while Benin Oceans will travel to Akure to play Sunshine. Abia Warriors, of course, will host Atlant, and Enyimba, of course, will travel to Bayelsa to play Bayelsa United. Ikorodu United, of course, trying to find their form, find their feet. We host Rivers, also a team that is unbeaten and second on the first on the table, topping the table. Tornadoes will the Mites, of course, change this weekend, playing 3SC, and of course, they're hosting 3SC in Mina. Akwa United will play Kwara, while Lobi travels to Ogun State to play Remo. Let's quickly look at the star matches, and the team. My matches I feel are star matches. We have Ikorodu hosting Rivers United.
Yeah, strong one. I must say, and expect such games to be on TV. For Ikorodu United, if they are forming the last couple of games, anything to go by, beating Lobi Stars, Amokachi's Lobi Stars 4-2, and losing narrowly against Enyimba, you'd really want to say they might just pull the chestnut out of the fire, but then Rivers United unbeaten. So I think it's really going to be a very difficult one. But if it ends in a draw, I think it should be a big one for Ikorodu United, looking at the strength and size of Rivers United.
Tornadoes yet to they at home, they've lost 1 match at home, played 4 draws, and they are hosting 3SC, a team that is picking up its form this season. Why do you think the Pendulum will swing?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Last year it was in Kaduna. You and I saw that game, and Tornadoes coming from the dead, coming from behind to win that game 2-1. The last 5 minutes of the game, they scored 2 goals after 3SC took the lead in the first half. So another difficult one. 3SC have been poor this season, and the away from home hasn't been too encouraging. But then you want to look at the fact that Tornadoes yet to pick maximum points at home. It's really going to be difficult, but I want to believe Tornadoes would break this jinx, so I'm putting my money on Niger Tornadoes. So I think Coach Majin Mohammed should get his first win of the season at the Kotongora Stadium, Mina. on Sunday.
Some of us based in Kaduna, we are praying that others will come back to Kaduna so that they can find their winning ways at home. Of course, Academy might possibly have the winning coach, the Flying Eagles coach, Zubairu Aliyu on the bench as a post Katsina United. Academy Warriors, of course, unbeaten also.
Yeah, the unbeaten run might continue, but it just depends, because I would rather sometimes you win one game and lose another two than playing 3 straight draws. Exactly, because 3 straight draws gives you 3 points, but winning 2 and losing the other one gives you 6 points. So I think the unbeaten run would continue, but this time I think it will still end maybe another barren draw or score draw. I don't see Academy picking maximum points over Katsina United.
Well, let's quickly listen to the interview we had with coach, the winning coach, the Flying Eagles coach, also Katsina United coach, Academy coach, in the person of Aliyu, Coach Aliyu Zubairu. Let's listen to him, and of course, before we come back.
Hello. Talking about the performance of the team at Academy in the league, we had a good preparation, and coming to this season, we retained majority of our players from last season to this season. Same players that we had promotion with, we qualified to MPFL with. So majority of them are still with the team. So they have that understanding. And besides, a team must have a way of play, we have a structure. That is why while I'm not even around, people are thinking that if I'm not around, maybe the team will not perform. No, it's not like that. We have a structure that is working for the team, and all the coaches to understand the rudiment on how we operate and how we do our trainings and approach to matches. And sometimes we don't even miss players. Even if a player is not around, it doesn't change anything. Like now, 3 players are here in under 20, 4 are at the national camp, the Chan Eagles. But even at the end, the team went to Port Harcourt to draw Rivers United, even with 9 men down. And it's not easy for any team to lose about 7 regular players and to still go ahead to execute his match successfully. So definitely what is working for us is the togetherness and the structure that we have in the team that is serving our philosophy. So that's it. Thank you.
Well, of course, you've seen that. You've heard what he said now, talking about the fact that he retained most of his players and he has a system working for. That's why he continues to do well despite his absence.
Yeah, they retained a good number of their players because they didn't even have much time to go into the market. Don't forget, as soon as the league finished, they had to submit names to CAF, talking about the CAF Confederation Cup. So I think they made about 5-6 new signings, but then retained bulk of their players. And I think that's working for them. And talking about the Flying Eagles now, he's really done well. He's one coach I have known for long. His philosophy speak for him a whole lot. So even when he's not there, the coaches, everything, they know how he plays, how he approaches his game, and all of that. So just to build on it and ensure that they get the job done. So not much of a surprise for you. Have bulk of your team, it's totally natural for you to get such results. But I also want them to get back to winning ways. Not really encouraging for a team yet to be unbeaten and yet 6th on the log. I don't think it's a good one.
Well, let's quickly take you to the Nigerian National League. That's the second tier of the Nigerian Football League. That is the Nigerian National League. Of course, a lot of reforms have been taking place. We saw them submitting their financial statements during the AGM in Bauchi. For the first time, a well-prepared financial statement was submitted. And of course, all the clubs got the activities being carried out by the Nigerian National League board. And of course, then there was a draw was made. And funny enough, that draw has been done again. This time around, they did it in Ogun State. So that's one thing we'll be talking about very soon. You can see there on your screen the Group A, Group we have the Northern Conference A and B, and we have the Southern Conference A and B, and Northern Conference C and D. Of course, in Group A we have Sporting Lagos, Solution, FC, First Bank, Gateway, Kun Khalifa, Abakaliki, Nadiba, Wikitoris, Godwin Lapadio, and of course Osun United and Rovers FC. And of course in B we have a Smart C, we have a 1472, Beyond Limits, Warri Wolves, Ejere, Inter Lagos, Crown, Dakada, Igbajo FC, Abia, Abia Comets, yes. And of course, for the Northern Conference, in C, of course, we have Gombe United, Sokoto United, Zamfara, Barao, Mighty Jet, Wiki Tourist, Milan, Turkey, and of course, for D, we have thank God that Kaduna will have a team right now in terms of Kaduna Warriors playing in the National League. That's in Group D. We have Doma FC, Kebbi United, Basira, Adamawa, Kaduna Warriors, like I said, Yobe Stars, and Sporting. Well, let's actually quickly take this interview from the chairman of FC Basira.
I am Ahmed Usman Ege, chairman FC Basira of Lafia. FC Basira is a newly promoted team in the NNL. We are preparing adequately for participation in the league this season. And we are not just participating, but we are participating in order to get qualifications to play in the Nigerian Professional Football League 2025. And we are doing our best to make sure we recruit good players to compete favorably. Our participation in the Africa South NLO tournament is a clear indication of our readiness to do our best to get qualification. We defeated First Bank FC of Lagos in the finals. First Bank is another NNL team. And we are, as I said earlier, we are recruiting good players. We are motivating the players. And inshallah, we are getting the qualification. Thank you very much.
Well, you heard him, and of course they are actually well prepared, and they're actually thinking of getting promotion to the Premier League, which means it's big business for Basira. They are not thinking of just being a landlord in the Nigerian National League. Well, let's look at this idea of doing a fixtures and a draws and coming back again to change it. Some people say influence from some governors, House of Rep members who felt the draws was not okay for them. Of course, the NLL that were trying to have an equal team in the same group. Not looking at North and South, being the second tier team, the league to the National League, to the Premier League. Also, they should prepare to face what is happening in the Premier League. But suddenly, we had the call for a new grouping, making it North and South. So many teams in the South, few teams in the North.
Well, it has always been there. If you followed the NNL for quite some time, it has always been there. And I think 2 seasons before now, I think we had just maybe 5 clubs in each group, where we had about 8 groups where the top teams are qualified for the playoffs, citing Power City of funds and all of that. For me, if you're not good enough to play in the NNL, you're not good enough to play in the top flight league. I take you back to the second tier football in England, where you had about 24 teams in a group. That means for you to get to the EPL, you have to play over 40 games, and I think that's how it should be. Looking at the Northern Conference, for example, after just 12 rounds of matches and perhaps another 2 or 3 games during the playoff, 15 games, and you are there in the MPFL. So for me, I think these teams are not playing enough games. But then you want to look at Power City of funds, where you have some private clubs too are struggling to make ends meet. So I think just trying to be flexible one way or the other. But again, I think it's time for the league organizers to really come up with this strong blueprint that, look, if you're not good enough to compete in the NNL and you're not good enough to play in the top flight football.
Well, I think we want to use the opportunity to call on the new NSC chairman, president of Shodiko, the NFF president, Malam Guso, the league board, to possibly have an opportunity, create an opportunity to talk to the governors, the National Assembly members, and let them know that football is business and enough of interference from them, so that football can grow, and of course possibly let it so that it can affect the GDP of this country. Well, let's quickly move straight to national team talks. Yes, we saw what happened with the under-21 national team, and of course nobody actually gave them a chance just 1 month in camp, 3 weeks in camp, and their first match, they lost their first match, of course, to Burkina Faso, and going on, of course, to win 2-1 against Cote d'Ivoire. And of course, in that group, it was a tight one. They all had 3 points, but the fact that we played Cote d'Ivoire, gave us an edge.
Scored more goals.
We had 2 goals. Cote d'Ivoire also had 2 goals, 2 against. But because we played them, for the Burkina Faso, they had 1 goal for 1 goal against, and that actually affected they actually gave us the advantage to move to the semi-final. We defeated Nigeria 3-1 in the semi-finals and Ghana 2-1 in the finals. Let's quickly listen to Coach Aliu on interview before we come back to discuss that team.
I'm coming to under 20. I believe we had a very limited time to prepare this team, even though it's supposed to be a shortcoming, but we didn't find things easy because we work very hard morning and evening to make sure that we adapt a way of play and understand how we are going to operate. Even though at one time it almost affected us because we couldn't have international friendly to play. That was why our first match against Burkina Faso, it looks as if the team struggled, because the boys did not have experience and idea of what playing another country is like. But after the match against Burkina Faso, I believe after speaking to them that they should overcome that. If there's any fear they are nurturing about playing any international match or playing another country, they've seen it, so they should overcome that fear. And they put themselves together, they become motivated. And the next match was against Cote d'Ivoire. You can see there was much improvement. They came out to win the match, and subsequently they win the semi-finals and the finals. So that is it. But it wasn't an easy task at all because of the time frame. The time was so short, so limited, that preparing a national team within that time, I think, couldn't have even been leading anywhere. But we thank God. We thank God all the same. We thank God.
Just listening to Coach Aliu, of course, Zubairu, talking about the fact that they had a short time to prepare, and of course that affected them in their first match. No time to play international friendlies. Like the Ghana team who played in the finals, they had 4 months in camp. They played international friendlies. But despite that, the quality of we had boys, and I want to say that Zubairu, for me, the luck he had was that he knew most of these boys already on ground, before he called them to camp. That actually gave the advantage to the team quickly. What should the NFF start doing concerning the age group national team? You can't do well if you spend 2 time in camp with international team, not like the Super Eagles.
Well, no magic. Early preparation. Nothing beats early preparation if you want to succeed in life, and it's quite unfortunate for quite some time now. Our age group teams have been little or nothing to write them about, talking about the under 17 and the under 20, talking about the male team now. Even the under 23, two consecutive Olympics. Nigeria missing out and all of that. So I think, but the good thing is the NFF have started. We're talking about the Chan Eagles. I know we're still going the early campaign over 1 month plus, which is good enough for coaches to put into the players their tactics and whatever it is for a player and for a team to succeed. I think, yes, like you rightly said, he's one man who has very strong philosophy. He knows how he wants to play, and getting the right players to interpret such philosophy. And I think he's had 2 players from El Kenem in that team. Saliu, who scored 2 goals during the last Confederation Cup final, winning the most valuable player against Abia Warriors, and also the right back, is it Megeri? Can't really place his name. Also product of El Kenem. So him working with players he knows and players who also know how to interpret his philosophy. I think the Flying Eagles were also lucky, aside his philosophy and all of that, because they were that close to being eliminated. But I think the game against Cote d'Ivoire was just the turning point, getting almost an instant equalizer, getting the winning goal, qualified for the semi-finals, and made meal of Niger Republic in the semi-final. And at that point in time, getting to the final, win or lose, you're already at the AFCON, where the 3 best, 3-4 or so African countries would emerge for Chile 2025. So I think it's a good one, but then the NFF should try as a matter of urgency and get these players into early camping, and in that way just produce more Osimhen of this world, more the AC Milan guy Chukwueze, and a host of others who were products of the under-17.
Well, before we move to under 17 female team, we saw Jefta Clinton in Kaduna playing for Tornadoes last season. Very smart, quick, I'll call him Quicksilver. And of course coming to reproduce the same form for the Flying Eagles. That boy, what do you have to say about him?
Yeah, he would go places. He's destined to. Doing well with Eyimba. I think scored about 1 or 2 goals and with few assists, but then showing his true potential at the Flying Eagles. Take away the 3 goals he scored, and perhaps Flying Eagles would have been eliminated, because these were really crucial goals he scored. But then it's a collective effort, and I think one man praying for success. No wonder why Eyimba Rangers were in a transfer tussle before the start of the season, but eventually Eyimba had their way. We saw him from close range last season in the colours of Tornadoes, scoring about 8 goals. Also quick feet, good precision. I mean, hits the ball, arrives the right place at the right time, and gets his chances. For a winger to score such a number of goals last season, it tells you he has something inside of him, and now he's taking that to the national team. And I would not be surprised if the handlers of the home base Chan Eagles extend and invite to him.
I think he deserves the place in the under 23 team.
He sure did.
Well, let's move to the under 17 team. Of course, they tried their best, losing to a team they played in the last World Cup. They were losing 2-0. Of course, the coach said they threw scoring chances. Well, they had their first 3 matches, winning 4-0 against Ecuador, 4-1 against New Zealand, and of course beating the host nation 1-0 before losing to the USA. But one funny thing is that from next year, the under 17 World Cup will be yearly, and that is where there's one thing I want to discuss in there right now. Is it good for each national team, and how well prepared will the Nigerian team be? This our attitude of not going to camp on time. Every year, World Cup on 17 and 21. How do you produce talent? A player plays this time around is 16, is 15. He plays next year again because he's 16. I can't really fathom out why they have to make it yearly. For me, it's absurd.
Yeah, as absurd as that appears to be, I think FIFA in their own wisdom a way of trying to develop football at that particular level. And I think FIFA should also come out properly to say, look, whether you are 14 years of age, you can't play more than one World Cup. And I think that's what some of the Nigerian girls have enjoyed, like some players playing under 17 twice because of their ages and all.
Okay, there's rule that you can't play more than one.
No, I'm just saying that FIFA should come up with that, since it's a yearly thing, and that way it gives more opportunities to these boys, these girls, and also a wake-up call to the football authorities, talking about the NFF now, to go back and develop grassroots football, because that's one area we have been lacking. If you spread your tentacles, develop grassroots football, and get these coaches to work, I tell you, this country is blessed with abundant talent, and we shouldn't be complaining of not getting enough quality to parade because the under-17 World Cup is now on a yearly basis.
Well, I think that's a good one. Well, let's come to the under-23 Chan national team. Of course, the tournament itself will be taking place next year in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania from the 1st of February to the 28th of February. And of course, we're playing our first match, of course, qualifiers against Ghana, December 20 and 22, and our boys already in camp. As at yesterday, of course, they were being drilled. Absolutely. And of course, my joy is that we have 3 coaches who knows the players in the league. Coach Ogumodede and Coach Fidelis. Of course, Coach Austin Guavonta who has also been on ground. And we saw the list. And the likes of Anas making the list, the likes of Sikiru Alimi, who has been there banging in goals. Lalas was there for last season. And some other players who have been doing well. Ayodele of 3SC, I saw last year, last season in Kaduna. And some other good players. And I think they've actually said that they will continue to invite players as they see them play in the league. Sure. How far do you think this guy can go? Is it a good timing for come to camp, have a match December, and they're also resuming camp for the first time just yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier on, nothing beats early preparation, and I think NFF are gearing towards that direction. It's a good one. We saw them in camp, and first few days being grilled under the watchful eyes of I call them 3 wise men who are really doing well with our senior national team. So why not? It's just a way of continuity, so to say. And like they said, it won't be just the final players' invitation, more of substitution by elimination. For example, if I were the coach, a player like Clinton Jefta should get a place in that team, and I think that's how they would do it. But I'm not too comfortable with the idea sometimes of releasing these players, going for their respective club and all of that. How many of these clubs can fly their players?
The football authority should take charge of that.
Take charge. I'm not sure if they will be saddled with that responsibility. But I know it also get to a point, maybe 2 weeks before the first leg, where these players will not be allowed to go play for their respective clubs. So long as you don't have up to 5 players in the national team, then you should play your match. I think the highest in the club, Nasarawa had 3, a couple Rangers had 2 or 3 or so. So with that, you should make do with what you have, and just a two-legged affair against the same opponent. So if Nigeria gets past Ghana, then we should be in Kenya, Tanzania, and the third country that will be hosting the CHAN. We've missed out in a very long time, and our best performance so far has been under Coach Salisu Yusuf, getting to the final before losing out to Morocco 4-0. That match finished. So it's a good one that we're getting to see the CHAN Eagles back to action.
I think the only West African team that actually won the CHAN Cup is Senegal, and we're hoping that Nigeria, with the way our league is going this time around, will all go ahead, of course, to also win the trophy. Well, I want to say this is 3M Sports channel. I want you to please go click like and subscribe for more information on Nigerian league. Before we go, I want to say congrats to the Super Falcons who defeated the Algerian Green Girls ladies 4-1 and 2-0 in 2 friendly matches. So with this, I want to say stay glued to 3M Sports channel. Go click like and subscribe for this station for more on Nigerian football. See you next Monday for more stories.